I was tagged not too long ago by Masked Man Reviews to do a video of fragrances I could not pass up. And I'm just not getting around to it. So better late than never. Stay tuned. So as I was saying in the intro, I was tagged by Masked Man Reviews to do a video of fragrances I just could not pass up. And all of these fragrances are from the rack store. So I don't know if there was a preference that was given, whether it had to be from rack stores or what you bought online or whatever. But I just chose to go all rack stores with this one so I can show people the variety of fragrances that I've been purchasing, and to show some people who are discouraged from buying things from rack stores that there are some good fragrances in the rack stores. You just have to keep your eyes open and stay consistent. So with that being said, if you are new to this channel, my name is Keith. This is The Fragrant Life, where we talk about everything fragrance related, whether it's niche, whether it's high-end designer, whether it's cheapies, clone houses, it doesn't matter. We touch on all subjects over here. But if you are not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you hit that red subscribe button. Make sure you ring the bell icon for all notifications. Like the videos, thumbs up, share the videos, and be active in the comment section. And if you feel like that is going to cost you anything, then you are absolutely wrong. It costs you zero. So with that being said, this is probably going to be a lengthy video because once I started pulling out fragrances, there are a lot of fragrances that I found in rack stores that I just could not pass up. Whether it was something I've heard about in FragCon being talked about, or whether it was just a great deal that I found on a fragrance that I just was like mind blown about. Obviously, I could not put everything in this video, but I got enough. So if you got time, stick with me. So first up, I'm going to talk about a fragrance that a friend of mine, a fellow YouTuber, Sam Broom, he actually sent Trey Scents and myself some samples of, and it is from Robert Graham. He sent Valor, and I think it was Fortitude, little carded samples. Valor, I think, was the one that stuck out more than Fortitude, and the only one I actually found in the rack stores at the time was Valor. And this one was found in, I want to say, Marshall's in Jacksonville, Florida, sometime last year, like early last year, I believe it was. But this is the one I found. And then I went back another time, and lo and behold, even though I don't have the box for this one, I found another one. So both of these are the same. I'm just showing you the box for this one. The fragrance is in here. And this is what the bottle looks like. Robert Graham's Valor has a little bulldog on the top. And what's cool about this is there are other bottles like this that actually have the whole bulldog on the top of it. So like this one, you just get the bulldog face. On the other ones, you actually get the whole bulldog standing on top of the cap. So that's pretty cool. The way these are set up, they're also set to, you actually have to find the grooves that it fits into, because this just does not snap back on. You'll think it's on there and then you go to pick it up and it'll fall off. You actually have to find the grooves so it can stay on. But this is a beautiful fragrance. Definitely not for the faint of heart. This is strong. It just smells so good, man. It's very, very masculine. I don't call this a mass appealing type scent, but if you're into strong, aggressive type fragrances with a hint of sweetness, not totally sure off recollection what is all in it, but it's a well blended fragrance and I love it. So that's Robert Graham's Valor. Another purchase that I picked up, want to say around Christmas. It might have been just after Christmas. I was in Waycross, Georgia, and I was in a Ross there. And as soon as I walked in the door, right there on the front shelf, in one of those cheap boxes with the plastic over the top of it so you can see through, this was on the shelf, and it is Prada Lunarosa Carbon. And for those of you who don't know about this fragrance, this is a clone, dupe, copy, inspired by fragrance, and it smells like Dior Sauvage. Just without the heavy ambroxan type note or sharpness that this has. This is a little less sharp. And in my opinion, and from what I've seen other reviewers say, they actually like this better. And I have to agree. I like Dior Sauvage. It does what it's supposed to do. But this also is a very nice fragrance. And yeah, it's just less sharp. Well blended, very nice fragrance. I found this one at a great deal also. And when I saw this, I could not pass it up. I just couldn't. Another fragrance from the house of Prada. I found this one at my local Ross, and this had to be maybe a year or two ago when I found it. I walked in, and right there on the shelf in the corner, I found Prada Lunarosa Eau Sport. And I think this one was, I want to say $39.99 or $49.99, one of the two. But it was like maybe 50 bucks. And that, I don't think that's bad for this 4.2 ounce bottle. It was 125 mLs. Great scent. Very, very good scent. Gotta love that atomizer too. Look at that. Wow. So that's another pickup that I found that I just could not pass up. Now, these started popping up a lot in TJ Maxx. And these were going for, I want to say $29.99 or $24.95 or something like that. But for a 30 ml bottle, a lot of people weren't feeling the price on it. But me personally, I really didn't care. I love this scent. I absolutely adore it. I do not have a full-size bottle of this, but this is, or do I? No, I don't. I don't believe so. Yeah, I don't have a full-size bottle of this, but when I found it, I just could not pass it up, and I got a couple of bottles of this. Some I sold and some I kept, but from the house of Polo, Ralph Lauren, that is, Polo. This is Polo Red Extreme. And this one, I believe, has a note of coffee in it. It has that sweetness that I love in a fragrance. I'm a sucker for sweet fragrances, especially gourmandish. Nice looking bottle. And even better scent. And I could not pass this up when I saw it. From the house of Ralph Lauren Polo, this is Polo Red Extreme. All right, so around this past Christmas, I was all the way in Florida somewhere. It wasn't Jacksonville, it was a little deeper than that. I was like going towards I want to say I was going towards Miami, I believe, or Orlando, one of the two. But I was in one of them small cities or towns, and I was in a TJ Maxx. Was it TJ? No, it was Marshall's. Yeah, it was Marshall's. And I ran across this fragrance, and I have never gotten my nose on anything from this company, but when I saw it, and I know Chad from A Gentleman's Journey talks about this company a lot. He likes it a lot. When I saw it, I had to get it. It was in a gift set, and it's from the house of Sardi. This is Sardi Warmo. Nice looking bottle. Cap snaps into place as you heard. Metal cap. Not a bad atomizer. Nothing groundbreaking when it comes to this fragrance, but this is a very nice, fresh smelling fragrance, and it works for me. I've worn it to work. I've did a first impression on it, I believe. If I didn't, then I'll go back and do one. But if you see this one in the stores, definitely give this one a shot. I like this a lot. From the house of Sardi Uomo. This one I found at TJ Maxx in, I want to say, Yulee, Florida. And I ran to Florida real quick one day after work. And I was trying to hurry up and get in because they actually were about to close. As soon as I walked in the door, it was announcing like 5 or 10 minutes before closing. And I was frantically looking. I was in the women's section because we always have to check the women's section. They always get things mixed up. And I didn't find anything, so I ran across to the men's section. By the time I got there, they were announcing, I think, 5 minutes to closing. And I'm frantically looking, hoping I don't look over something. And I saw this one. Now, even though I paid almost $70 for this one at the rack stores, I didn't care because you don't often see fragrances like this. And I picked it up. And this is from the house of Valentino. This is Valentino Warmo Aqua. And this one, I think it has like a classy, sophisticated vibe to it. I think there's like tomato leaf or something like that in it also. This smells phenomenal. I love this scent. It's not harsh. It's not heavy like the regular Uomo, in which I love that scent also. I'm just saying it's not as heavy as that one. It does retain somewhat of that DNA, but it's a little fresher and a little aquatic smelling. So if you like Valentino, then you'll definitely need to get your nose on this one. Like I said, I paid a hefty penny for this one. Normally I wouldn't pay this much for something in a rack store, but hey, at that particular point in time, I didn't care, and I was satisfied. When I got this and smelled it, and I've actually worn it before, I didn't feel like I cheated myself by paying what I paid for this fragrance. So from the house of Valentino Warmo Aqua. All right, recently, which means to me the past few months, I did a rack store video, and it might have been maybe 3 months ago, if not a little longer. I was in my local TJ Maxx and I ran across this fragrance. I've heard a lot about this company and I've never had anything from them. The fragrances are very pricey online, and most people complain because the performance, they say, is not as good as it should be for those prices. And you know, I can agree somewhat, but I found this one, and it's from the house of Joe Malone. This is Orange Blossom. And I could not believe I actually was in a rack store. Atomizer is not the best. I could not believe that I was looking at a Joe Malone fragrance in a rack store. So I could not pass it up. And I think the price tag on it in that video, I think it said $99.99, but I got it for way less than that because it was on a clearance table. So the price I actually paid for this was like $62 or something like that. But I just could not pass this one up. From the house of Joe Malone, Orange Blossom. And I know that's kind of hard to see. All right, I picked this one up. I wasn't a huge Dunhill fan. I have a few Dunhill fragrances that I do like. The ones I didn't like, I did not keep. When I found this one, it actually made me get rid of the OG from this company and keep this one because it just blew that one out of the water. From the house of Dunhill, this is Dunhill Red Extreme. You want to talk about a nice fragrance. It puts me in the mind frame of the Polo Red Extreme. But, oh, that smells so good, man. Great smelling fragrance. I would not wear this in the high heat though. Do not do it. More for like spring, fall, maybe winter, depending on how cold it is. Great scent. I think I picked this one up for like $19 or $20, something like that. And you cannot go wrong. If you like sweet smelling fragrances, definitely check this one out. Dunhill Red Extreme. I'm gonna show two of these at this spot. All right, so the first time I found one of these fragrances, it was a 200 ml bottle, and I believe it was like 2 Christmases ago. And I passed on it because the price I felt was not good. I think it was like 80 bucks for a 200 ml, and now later on after I thought about it, I was like, 80 bucks for a 200 ml. That was a great price because you're actually paying $40 for a 100 ml times 2. So that's $40 for 100 ml and $40 for the other one. 80 bucks for a 200 ml. It worked out perfect. When I finally figured it out and I went back to go get it, it was already sold. Luckily, I went back and found not the one I wanted, but I found these two. I found 1 million. This is the 100 ml. And 1 million Lucky, which is actually the one that I found and I didn't get the 200 ml of. But I did go back and I found this one, and out of the 2 of these, I love Lucky the most, and I'm glad I have it. 1 million is just okay to me. I understand a lot of people love it. It's not on the love scale for me. It's on the like scale. Love for, this is not Lucky. I'm sorry. This is Privé. Privé is the one actually that was the 200 ml bottle that I found, and I didn't get it. And I found this one, the 50 ml. Lucky is behind me, but I didn't find this one in the rack store. That is why I didn't bring it out. I'm sorry. I apologize. I got confused. 1 million Privé is the one I found the 200 ml of, like I just said, and I passed on. And luckily, I found this 50 ml. I went back and then I found this 100 ml of 1 million. So 2 purchases that I'm glad to have. This one I am glad to have even more, but I am glad to have this one also in the collection. So from the house of Paco Rabanne, these are 1 million and 1 million Lucky, found at my local TJ Maxx. And people are saying that you can't find good deals at the rack stores. Sometimes I know the prices are a little bit steep, but if you keep looking, there are other fragrances you can find, and I've been, a witness to this. I've shown you a bunch of fragrances here that are rack store found. So it's just your preference, how you want to do it. All right, this one I found maybe a month ago, and I was in, where was I when I found this? In Hinesville, Georgia. That's where I was. And I was at a local Bell's, and I walked in and they had, now I've never smelled anything from this company, from this particular line, but I was ecstatic to find this one. And I think for this one, I got it for, I want to say $24.99, so about $25, $26 from the house of Paco Rabanne. This is XS. I wish I could have found Pure XS, but this will do. And this is one of those freshies that kind of remind me of a fragrance like Platinum Egoist, but this one has a little bit more sweetness to it. I find this as a great fragrance, especially for the office setting. It's non-offensive if you ask me, and the quality of glass you get here, obviously this is a heavy plastic cap, but this glass bottle is super heavy, it's thick, and I like it. So if you go to Bell's or Burke's outlet, definitely keep your eyes open for fragrances like this. Paco Rabanne XS. This one was found at my local TJ Maxx, and I saw it and I kept passing on it because the price on this thing was ridiculous for this size bottle. I want to say this is a 50 ml bottle, but I let it sit, and it was in the clearance section, and I let it sit and I let it sit, and finally somebody marked it down, and it didn't go down anymore after that. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up before somebody picks it up before me. And I'm glad I got this one. This is a very nice, fresh, soapy, clean type fragrance. And if somebody tells you that you smell too clean, too soapy, too fresh, something's wrong with them. From the house of Bulgari, this is Bulgari Purom Blue, or BLV, however you want to say it. Kind of matches my shirt. This is almost the ultimate when it comes to clean, fresh, kind of soapy fragrance. Man, this is perfect. I would not spray too much of this on though, because the cleanliness in this, there's something in it that's slightly powdery and it may get away from you, especially in the high heat. So maybe go 2 sprays, possibly 3, strategically somewhere. If you want it to really last a long time, hit yourself on the chest. But I'm glad I got this one from the house of Bulgari. Bulgari Blue Purom. All right, this one, I was all the way in Atlanta, Georgia when I found this one, and I wish I could have recorded the video. Actually, I think I did record a video of this, if I'm not mistaken. I may not have though. I don't know, I can't remember. But anyway, I walked into that local store. I actually was on my way home and I was passing by stores. My GPS kept recommending, hey, go this way, go this way. So the strip that I was on, there was like so many TJ Maxx's, Marshalls. There was a couple of Burlingtons. And one of the TJ Maxx's, I think one of the first TJ Maxx's I stopped to on that particular street. I walked in, turned my camera on, I believe if I'm not mistaken. And the first thing I saw was sitting on top of another fragrance on the top shelf was this. Tom Ford Black Orchid. And I think the price tag on this was $99.99, but that is not what I got this fragrance for. I got it for a lot cheaper than that. This, I believe I might have paid 70 something for, which is much better. A lot of people still probably wouldn't have paid that for a 50 ml bottle, but this is a nice fragrance, man. I'm not afraid of wearing products that are geared towards women. It just depends on how it smells. And this one does not, to me, smell like it's a straight feminine fragrance. It smells borderline, like right on the fence. That's just my opinion though. I know there are going to be people who are going to disagree, and that's totally fine. I get it. But I just could not walk out of that store and leave this fragrance behind. I could not do it. I just couldn't. So from the house of Tom Ford Black Orchid. All right, so last on my list, this is a group of fragrances. And if you've been paying attention behind me, you notice that my Bond number 9 fragrances are gone except for 2. Bleecker Street is right here. And this one is, I think, I Love New York. And I got that one from my boy Trey Sense. Those two I did not find in the rack store. I bought this one on Mercari, and like I said, this one came from my boy Trey Sense. But the other 3, 6, 7 fragrances that I have here, actually I believe I got 8 because there's one in a box. I think it's the centerpiece for him. But these 7 fragrances all came from the rack stores. These may not be the most mainstream fragrances from Bond Number 9 that people mention a lot, but to me, just finding a Bond Number 9 fragrance in a rack store, it worked for me. Came from a TJ Maxx. The first one I'm going to talk about for a second is the Scent of Peace for Her. Gorgeous bottle. My sister would love this bottle. It's purple. And this is nice. It has a definite freshness. I wouldn't call this strictly for her type fragrance, because this one I will wear. It almost has a light grape vibe, but it's fresh, kind of fruity. It does in the air have that feminine vibe of a feminine fragrance, but I'd wear this. So the Scent of Peace for Her is the first one. Came from TJ Maxx. This next one is Bond Number 9's Madison Avenue. Also from a TJ Maxx. And I don't really hear a lot of people mention this one either, but who cares? It's a Bond Number 9. Oh, that smells so good. Oh, that smells good, man. I would love to smell this on a female. I wish my girlfriend wore fragrances because I could get her to wear some of these and just let me see how it works with her body chemistry and stuff like that. But hey, this is another one I would wear. So, Bond Number 9, Madison Avenue. Another one. I think this one also came from a TJ Maxx. And this is Chinatown. And I've actually seen another one of these since I found this one, but there was no need for me to get another bottle of this because I'll never go through all of these. But another one that is on the fence for me, I would definitely wear this one. Definitely. So, as you can see, the back and the front are different, whichever one you want to call it, the front or the back. But very nice fragrance from Bond Number 9, Chinatown. All right, next up, Bond Number 9's New York Patchouli. And you have to be a patchouli lover to truly understand this fragrance or like this fragrance. And at first, I didn't care for patchouli. This is kind of a weird smelling fragrance to me. But I've gotten used to it. I have not worn, well, I have. I think I worn this once, but I actually blended, or what do you call it? Layered it with another fragrance, and that didn't work out too good for me because it just didn't work. But this is a nice smelling fragrance also. If you are a patchouli lover, like I said, you would definitely like this one. From the house of Bond Number 9, New York Patchouli. All right, next up from the house of Bond, this is New York Musk. And if you like musky fragrances, then you'll definitely like this one. I'm not a huge musk fan. Well, not musk on its own, but it's not a bad scent. This one is going to take some getting used to. I have not worn this one either, but being that it was a Bond fragrance and I found it, this one I believe was, I want to say in the 50s or the 60s. and so was the other small one. The bigger ones I forgot to mention. I think these were $99.99, but I didn't pay that price for these in the rack stores. I paid a little less, but those were the tags that were on them. But yeah, New York Musk is not a bad scent. It's just, for me, it's going to take some getting used to, and I will be wearing this one coming up soon, so stay tuned for that review. From the House of Bond number 9, New York Musk. 2 more to go. Next up, this is one of the first Bonds that I found in the rack store. This one is Washington Square. And I love this bottle, the artwork on it. It's just New York Square, you know, people sitting in the square, doing whatever they do. But this one, and I forgot I took the cap off of this one. I gotta find an atomizer sprayer for it. I forgot I took it off. I actually sold one that didn't have the atomizer with it. Somehow it got damaged. So what I did was I took the sprayer cap off of my personal bottle and put it on that one and sold it to somebody. But this one, to me, I believe it leaned feminine, but being that it was a Bond fragrance, I didn't care, and so I got it anyway. So this one is Washington Square from the House of Bond number 9. And last but not least, this one also is going to take some getting used to. From Bond number 9, this is Nuits De Noire. And I like this bottle. I mean, even though it's just stars, it's simplistic. It's blue. I like blue. This one is a little stronger than the rest of them. The others are like lighter, fresher. This one is a little more on the heavy side. It smells like it has some powderiness to it, so I don't know if that's due to like iris or something like that, but whatever the case may be, I would not wear this one in the high heat. Maybe cool spring, fall, winter, something like that. But definitely a very nice smelling fragrance. So that is last on this list from Bond number 9, Nuits De Noire. So that is just a few fragrances that I could not pass on that I found in rack stores. So hopefully you all enjoyed this video, and people who talk bad about rack stores, just take heed. I know you're not going to walk into a rack store. You're not going to find like a Killian fragrance, or you're not going to find a lot of what else? You're probably not going to find like Nichane or Xerjoff or Parfums de Marly. We know this. But there are still very good fragrance finds in rack stores. And I know a lot of the rack stores these days aren't having a whole hell of a lot. But, you know, just over time, I have found all of these fragrances in rack stores and more. I didn't even list everything that I have found in the rack stores, but this is just a small preview of it. So, Masked Man Reviews, I hope you are satisfied with this video, and make sure you all let me know in the comment sections what you found in rack stores that you think is something that you could not pass. And I'm out of here, y'all. Here is to smelling great. Peace. Make sure you all stay tuned for that next haul video, the 3rd installment, coming soon. As soon as my second video hits 1,000 views, I'll then do that video. I may go ahead and record it and just edit it and everything. And as soon as I hit that 1,000 mark in views, I'll go ahead and upload the next video. So with that being said, peace again, y'all. Stay safe.